the men's rumble. How did you feel about how it started? Ray versus Penta. How did you feel about Joe Hendry? How did you feel about the way that number fifth I Show Speed? How did you feel about them literally cutting the Rumble in half from like the first cool part of the Rumble where it's the Rumble, and then the other half of the Rumble where it's the main event?
Yeah, yeah. um, so when the Rumble started originally, number one and number two, while Pence's entrance was going on, okay, this is dope. We getting basically some two of the best luchadors that ever come out of Mexico or of Mexican descent. This is good. This is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Then the first 2 minutes happens, and allegedly some feet touched the ground that didn't touch the ground, but you know we're not gonna discuss whether they allegedly hit the ground or not, even if they did. But and then we start an escapade of what feels like, I don't want to be disrespectful and call it a cruiserweight classic, but it felt like a cruiserweight classic for a little while there until, you know, OT stepped in. Then it just felt like 205 with Odyssey Jones. But
Which was a thing.
yeah. Um, but, you know, going forward, everything else that transpired, Joe Hendry coming in was a beautiful thing. Not gonna lie, a little upset we didn't get a Trick Williams appearance.
That's
I
true.
sh- I show speed at my favorite number two at number 8. Was he number 8?
I think it was some rain. I
Yeah,
think eight was 2000.
speed coming in was not a good thing for me. The good thing was Braun spearing the ever loving crap out of him because I didn't cheer until that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then we even gave Actual Speed an elimination. Like, why would we do such a thing?
I felt like it did good. I felt like it did well. I felt like it did well. He sold pretty well. He sold pretty well.
Yeah, anybody can sell taking a spear like that. But I digress. The second half, the main event, I guess you could say, of the Rumble was interesting because I liked some of the moments we got to have. We got John, and then right after John, we get Punk. And then right after Punk, we get Seth, and then we get that stare down, and it's like, oh, damn, there's history connecting everybody here.
Mm-hmm.
All we missing is one person.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it. I was very, very intrigued. As we started getting closer to the end, I was getting nervous because I was like, okay, my guy could win. Full disclosure, my pick was CM Punk. Um, I was thinking, okay, he could do it. He could do it until he didn't do it. But when it's all said and done, the final two, Jay, John, wasn't mad. A lot of the people in the wrestling community online afterwards from reading, there was a lot of hate there. And then there was also a lot of hate from the end, from the result of what happened, of Jey
Mm-hmm.
Uso eliminating John. And me personally, I'm not one of those people. I don't understand the hate. You guys literally have been yeeting for this man for the last year. You have been letting his merch fly off the shelves. You've been saying he needs a push, he needs a win, he needs the title, he needs to be a main event. Triple H only did what everyone wanted. He made him the main event. And to give Jey Uso crap or give him hate because he's in the main event now, he didn't book himself there. We booked him there. Hunter booked him there. So if there's anybody that needs hate about it, it's the fans who were yeeting all year cheering for Jey Uso because now you got what you wanted. Hunter gave you what you wanted. So to say that this man gets hate or he needs hate for it, I don't get it. And John did what John has always done for his entire career. He did what's best. He looked out for the company and he gave it to the next man up. Just so happens in this moment, the next man up is Jey Uso. So now, most likely, we're getting Jey and Gunther at WrestleMania. And I'm not mad about it.
I'll leave it here so we can wrap it up. To put it plainly, to speak to the hate, and then to speak to AJ, and then speak to John, or AJ, Jay, and then John. AJ first. Happy to see AJ back. This is what I wanted. Please send them to SmackDown so we can be with the guns. Even if they're in like a weird 6-man that makes no sense, but it's just great wrestling. I don't care. I just want to see the guns with AJ. Moving on to Jay. Speaking to the hate on Jay, this was super weird. I was caught off guard by everyone else's reaction. And I'll leave it at this. You can't want him to win this bad and then take it back, because the people who you weren't buying the merch from, the people who you weren't giving all the chance to, the people who you weren't as in unison with, the people you didn't give the same energy you gave to Jay, are the people you wanted to win. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, y'all made him the people's champ. Since France, he's been the people's champ. The Fireflies, he had the Fireflies. Before this, the Wyatt Six came back, he owned the Fireflies. Like, let's not forget what we made him. He worked his ass off to get here, yes, but we also made him this big because we love Jey Uso so deeply. Don't now take it back, because even I'll admit, like I said, I'm wrapping it up. Even I'll admit, when it got down to Jay and Logan and John, I was convinced maybe it was going to be John, because I wasn't really sure if they were going to stand on Jey Uso. Because I know we believed in Jey Uso, and I know they knew Jey Uso could sell, but I never was sure if they were ever really going to pull the trigger on making his name solidified as a world champion, as a main eventer at the biggest stage, even though he's done it before. So when he won, it felt surprising, but it felt like deserved. Like, this is the guy we picked all year, getting the biggest shot at the grandest stage, and this is why it hasn't worked any other time, because we wanted to save it for something that's big. We solidified him getting here. We can't now take it back. It's ridiculous. Yes. And it's horrendous that these people are out here on the internet, talking so absurdly. It's blasphemy. It's blasphemy. Moving to Cena. I don't know if you caught Cena's press conference comments, but he basically cut a promo. Said, I'm not answering any questions. We're going to do this one a little differently. To keep it plain, he said, that's probably the last time I'm going to do the favor. He was like, I've always done what's best for business, and right now I feel like it's setting in that it's my last time, and I want to do it for me. So I'm heading into the Elimination Chamber. I'm going to win. I'm going to succeed at WrestleMania. I'm going to become 17-time world champion. I'm going to do these things so that I can meet the guy that basically I pass it off to, or be there to shake the hand of the guy that reaches 18, or the woman, because it's probably going to be Charlotte. But, but how do you feel about John for the first time in a long time being like, nah, I want it for me now? And then we'll go.
I have no problems with it. The man gave his heart to a company for 20-something odd years. He's been wrestling since 1999. He's been wrestling for WWE since 2002, starting from developmental all the way to now. In some capacity, he has always been in WWE. And he said it best. He's been gimmicked He's been the first match. He's been the middle match. He's been the end match. He's done everything you can do, or roughly everything you can do in a company for said company.
Mm-hmm.
He's been a company guy, whether he's been in there or out. And look, if you want number 17 to be selfish for yourself, I have no problem with it. All records are made because eventually they're going to be broken. The person who can break it first, obviously the closest ones are John and Charlotte. John's the closest, so John's going to be the one to break it first. Charlotte might do it right after, but John will be the one to break it. Not mad at that. I hope that happens. He deserves for it to happen. We deserve for it to happen.